The year is 2 million BCE. You're 4 feet tall. Your brain is half the size it should be. And the growl you just heard? That's a saber-toothed cat that's been stalking you since dawn. You're Homo Habilis, barely human. Definitely not ready for this, and in exactly 7 seconds, you need to make a choice that will determine if your genes make it to the future or become fossilized waste in some predator's dung. Run? You're slower than everything that wants to eat you. Fight? Your strongest punch wouldn't dent a hyena's enthusiasm. Hide? That leopard in the tree has been watching you since before you woke up. You have no fire, no weapons worth mentioning, no language to scream for help. Your canine teeth are a joke. Your claws? You don't have any. That sharp rock you're holding? The 6 hyenas approaching don't care. Here's what anthropology textbooks won't tell you. As Homo habilis, you're basically a walking Happy Meal in a world where everything has evolved specifically to murder you. You're too weak to fight, too slow to run, too small to intimidate, and too dumb to outsmart anything with more than 3 brain cells. Alone, you won't survive until lunch. Actually, scratch that, you are lunch. But then, you hear it. Clicking tongues, soft grunts, the sound of 19 other pathetic, weak, defenseless Homo habilis approaching. Your clan. And suddenly, that saber-tooth stops growling. Those hyenas hesitate. That leopard finds somewhere else to be. Because here's the thing about being the weakest species in prehistoric Africa. 20 of you together, you become something nature has never seen before. Something that breaks all the rules. Something that turns weakness into world domination. You're about to discover why you sitting comfortably in the 21st century exist only because 2 million years ago, your ancestors figured out the most powerful survival strategy in Earth's history. Alone, you're nothing. Together, you're unstoppable, even by monsters that could swallow you whole. Welcome to 24 Hours in the Life of Homo Habilis, where every second alone is a death sentence, and your only superpower is realizing you need each other more than ego, more than food, more than fear itself. This isn't just survival. This is the birth of everything human, and it starts with admitting you die before breakfast without 19 other losers who are just as pathetic as you are. Let me show you what happens when the weakest apes on Earth decide to survive together, in a world specifically designed to eat them separately. The baby's whimper ripples through the huddled mass of bodies. 23 hearts begin beating faster, though eyes remain closed. In the pre-dawn darkness of East Africa, 2 million years ago, that small sound triggers an ancient protocol. The clan awakens as one organism, not as individuals. The dominant male doesn't move first. That would expose him to unseen threats. Instead, 3 adolescents shift positions, their young eyes better in low light, scanning the acacia tree they've slept beneath. No leopard silhouette, no python coils. They make a soft clicking sound with their tongues. Safe. Now the mothers move, automatically checking their infants with touches that convey everything. You're safe. I'm here. Wait quietly. Each mother's awakening triggers her sisters, who triggers her aunts. Information spreads through touch and breath, not words they don't yet have. The matriarch, 40 years old and ancient for her species, reads the air with nostrils that have survived 4 decades of African mornings. No blood scent, no fresh predator marking, but something else: moisture. Rain coming. She grunts twice, a specific pattern that makes everyone's heads turn west. Without verbal coordination, the clan forms their morning formation. Juveniles in the center, mothers next, adolescent males forming an outer ring. Their barely 4-foot frames laughable defense against a saber-tooth, but better than nothing. The dominant male and his brother take point and rear positions. Everyone else fills predetermined gaps. They descend from the tree in order, not random scrambling, but choreographed sequence. The lightest first, testing branches. The heaviest last, when escape routes are confirmed. One female stays in the tree until everyone is down, watching for the shadows that kill in transition moments. On the ground, 23 individuals become one entity, with 46 eyes, 46 ears, 23 noses. They move in synchronization learned before memory. each step placed where another just lifted, creating a single trail that confuses tracking predators. The baby whimpers again. Hunger now, not fear. Its mother can't feed it yet. Mourning belongs to survival, not comfort. But 6 other females simultaneously reach toward the infant, offering fingers to suck, providing comfort that says, "Your hunger matters to all of us." As true dawn approaches, they've covered 200 meters without a sound louder than breathing. The formation constantly adjusts. When one member stops to defecate, others automatically compensate, maintaining coverage. When an adolescent spots fresh hyena tracks, the entire group shifts direction without discussion. This is not cooperation. This is something deeper, a shared nervous system spread across multiple bodies. Each member is a neuron in a collective brain that thinks one thought: survive another day. The baby's mother finally offers her breast, but only after 3 others have confirmed the nursing won't compromise group security. Even feeding happens within the clan's protective geometry. Alone, any one of them dies before noon. Together, they've survived 2 million years of mornings exactly like this one. The first light protocol isn't tradition or ritual. It's the mathematics of making it to sunset. When you're made of meat in a world of teeth, the vultures spiral down at 7:43 a.m., though no Homo Habilis counts time. What matters is the message in their descent. Something big is dead, and the race is on. The clan's youngest adult male sees them first. His role as Skywatcher earned through exceptional peripheral vision. He doesn't shout, "Sound travels to competitors." Instead, he slaps the ground twice, points northeast, then holds up 8 fingers, 8 vultures. That means buffalo or zebra. Worth the risk. Without conference, the clan splits into 3 groups. It's always the same division, practiced since childhood. The runners, 5 adolescent males, and 2 young females will get there first. The carriers, older females and subdominant males follow with sharp stones. The defenders, mothers with infants, elders, and 1 guardian male find defensive positions to wait. The runners explode forward in a loping gait that covers ground faster than their short legs should allow. They don't run straight toward the carcass. That's what gets you killed. They run perpendicular first, checking wind direction, ensuring they'll approach downwind from wherever the killer might be resting. 2 minutes into the run, they hear it. The cackling laugh of hyenas. At least a dozen. The runners don't slow. Hyenas gorge first, rest second. If the clan times this right, they'll hit the window when hyenas are food-drunk and slow. Too early, you fight. Too late, nothing's left but bones. The lead runner, a female who survived a leopard attack at age 9, reads the ground like scripture. Fresh hyena tracks going in, none coming out. They're still feeding. Good. Lion prints, but old, rained on. The killer has abandoned the carcass. Better. No human footprints. They're first of their kind. Perfect. She raises her fist. The runners slow. Spread out. Standard formation. Crescent moon shape. Approaching from multiple angles. If they have to run, they scatter in 7 directions. Predators can't chase everyone. The carcass appears through thorn bush. A young buffalo. Throat torn out. Stomach already opened by the initial killer. Probably a pride of lions based on the multiple bite patterns. 11 hyenas are inside the body cavity, their heads buried in organs, exactly as predicted. Now comes the choreography that took millions of years to perfect. The runners don't attack. They perform. Each one starts hooting, screaming, throwing dust, making themselves appear larger. It's synchronized chaos designed to overload hyena senses. One male mimics a leopard cough. A female throws rocks in a pattern that sounds like approaching hoofbeats. They're creating an audio illusion of a bigger threat arriving. The hyenas, drunk on blood and organs, confused by the sensory assault, make the calculation predators always make. Is this meal worth potential injury? They retreat, but not far. They'll circle back in minutes. The carriers arrive exactly now, like they always do. 8 more bodies, armed with cutting stones and modified antelope femurs for breaking bones. The clan has maybe 4 minutes before the hyenas reorganize and return. No one directs. Everyone knows their role. 2 males immediately attack the femur, cracking it for marrow. 3 females strip meat from the haunches. Others target the tongue. the liver, the fat deposits behind the eyes. They're not randomly grabbing. They're following a nutritional hierarchy refined over millennia. Fat first, organs second, meat third, marrow last. The lookout whistles. Hyenas approaching from two sides now, realizing they've been bluffed. Time's up. But the clan has what they came for. 40 pounds of the richest calories available, stripped in under 4 minutes. They retreat in reverse order, carriers first with the bounty. Runners last, still performing their intimidation display to buy seconds. One adolescent male trips, his foot catching a root. Before he hits the ground, 3 hands catch him. The clan doesn't leave members behind. Ever. That's what makes them different from every other scavenger at this carcass. By the time the hyenas reclaim their kill, the clan is 400 meters away, dividing their spoils in the shade of a baobab tree. Everyone eats, including the defenders who never saw the carcass. The lookout who spotted the vultures gets the fatty tissue from behind the eye, highest honor for starting the chain that fed everyone. This is how Homo Habilis survives without claws, without fangs, without speed. They have something better. Choreographed chaos and absolute faith that every member will play their part. Tomorrow, the vultures will spiral again, and the race will run again, and the clan will eat again, or they'll die together trying. The percussion starts at noon, when shadows disappear and predators rest. 8 Homo Habilis sit in a circle, each cradling rocks like precious eggs. This is not random banging. This is humanity's first orchestra, and the symphony they're composing will echo for 2 million years. The master, a 30-year-old female with scarred fingers and perfect muscle memory, demonstrates first. She holds the core stone in her left palm, feeling for the ridge that runs through its heart. The hammerstone in her right hand weighs exactly what her wrist can control for hours. She strikes once. The sound rings clean, pure. A flake the size of a child's palm falls away, its edge sharp enough to slice through hide. 7 students watch her wrist rotation, the angle of impact, the follow-through. They're not just learning to make tools. They're downloading 500,000 years of accumulated knowledge through observation. The youngest apprentice, barely 8 years old, holds a cobble that's too big for his hands. Without words, the master's sister reaches over and exchanges it for a smaller one from her pile. The right stone for the right hands, this matters more than strength. They begin together. Not simultaneously, that would create chaos. They strike in sequence, each listening to the other's impacts, adjusting their rhythm to avoid sound collision. The pattern emerges. Master strikes. Pause. Eldest student strikes. Pause. Next student. Pause. It creates a heartbeat rhythm that carries across the savannah. This acoustic pattern isn't accidental. It tells other clans, we're here, we're working, we're many. Solitary napping sounds like prey. Group napping sounds like something to avoid. The adolescent male on the master's left consistently fails. His flakes are too thick, breaking at wrong angles. In another species, he'd be expelled, forced to learn alone or not at all. But the female beside him, his aunt shifts position slightly. Now he can see her grip better. She exaggerates her movements, making them readable. After 3 more strikes, his technique improves. Knowledge flows multi-directionally in this circle. The master teaches precision, but the 12-year-old female has discovered that heating stones in the sun makes them fracture cleaner. She doesn't hide this innovation. She places her cores in a sunny patch, and others notice, copy, adapt. An infant crawls toward the sharp debris. 4 hands simultaneously block its path, not just its mother's, but whoever's closest. Every eye watches every child, while every hand works stone. Multitasking that modern humans would struggle to match. The tools emerging aren't random shapes. The master creates choppers, heavy-duty butchering tools. Her sister specializes in scrapers for hide preparation. The adolescent makes small, sharp flakes for precision cutting, each member developing expertise that benefits everyone. When someone's hammerstone cracks, tools breaking while making tools, 3 others immediately offer replacements from their collections. Personal property doesn't exist here, only clan property distributed among individuals. The sound alerts a leopard lounging in a nearby tree. It watches the group with calculating eyes. 8 hominids focused on rocks might seem like easy targets, but the formation tells a different story. They've arranged themselves so no back is exposed, every angle covered. One is always scanning while napping, the lookout roll rotating every few minutes without discussion. After 2 hours, they've produced 47 usable tools from 8 original cores. The master examines each one, not for quality control, but for teaching. This flake shows perfect technique. She has its creator demonstrate their grip for others. This one failed. She recreates the error so everyone learns what not to do. The tools are distributed based on upcoming needs, not who made them. The strongest cutters go to whoever will butcher at the next carcass. The best scrapers to whoever's child needs new carrying skins. The master keeps the failures, recycling them into smaller tools, wasting nothing. As afternoon heat peaks, they stop. Not from exhaustion, but from discipline. Tired hands make bad tools, and bad tools mean starvation. They cache the tools in 3 separate locations, redundancy against theft or loss. Each cache contains a mix of tool types. If they lose 2 caches, the third can still sustain the clan. The master's fingers bleed from a mishap. Stone tools cut their makers as often as their users. The clan's medicine keeper, an elderly male, approaches with crushed leaves that stop bleeding. He didn't make any tools today. His eyes are too weak. But his knowledge of which plants heal is worth more than 100 perfect flakes. This is the revolution happening in this circle. Specialization within cooperation. Not everyone makes tools, but everyone benefits from tools. Not everyone knows medicine, but everyone receives medicine. The sum becoming infinitely greater than its parts. The leopard eventually leaves, seeking easier prey. It recognizes something in this coordinated tool-making that transcends individual vulnerability. These small apes have discovered something more powerful than claws or fangs. They've discovered that knowledge shared is survival multiplied. Tomorrow they'll sit in this circle again, strike stones again, teach and learn again, each day adding incremental improvements to a technology that will eventually take them to the moon. But today, they've done enough. 47 tools richer, 0 members lost, everyone's skills advanced by watching others. The stone symphony ends with the master's final strike, a perfect flake that rings like a bell, announcing to the savannah that Homo Habilis has finished making the future. The bone weighs more than the child carrying it, but she doesn't drop it. Can't drop it. Inside that fossilized-looking femur lies 2,000 calories of fat-rich marrow. The difference between her baby brother surviving another week or joining the small skeletons under the acacia tree. The clan gathers in their designated breaking zone, a flat rock outcrop naturally bold to contain fragments. 21 survivors of yesterday's fever arrange themselves in a formation practiced since before memory. The holders, the strikers, the collectors, the watchers. This is not random bone smashing. This is precision engineering that would make modern nutritionists weep with recognition. The matriarch examines each bone, reading them like holy texts. This gazelle tibia, too fresh, the marrow still bloody, best for immediate consumption. This buffalo femur aged perfectly, the marrow transformed into concentrated fat. This mystery bone old enough that even hyenas abandoned it. But the weight suggests treasure inside. She assigns bones to breakers based on complex calculations. The strongest male doesn't get the biggest bone. He gets the one requiring precise angular strikes. The adolescent female with exceptional hand-eye coordination receives the buffalo femur, where one wrong hit means explosion of precious calories into dust. They begin with the smallest bones, practice rounds for what's coming. A young male positions a gazelle radius across 2 stable rocks, creating a fulcrum. His sister holds one end, his cousin the other. He raises the hammerstone, but waits. The wind is wrong. Marrow dust would blow away. Everyone waits with him. Patience is protein. Wind shifts. He strikes. The bone cracks cleanly, longitudinally, opening like a book. The marrow inside gleams yellow-white. Pure fat. In a world where fat means survival, no one grabs for it. Distribution follows rules older than speech. The infant who needs calories most gets first access, his mother holding the bone while he gnaws and sucks. Then the pregnant female, growing another clan member inside her. Then the elder whose knowledge keeps them all alive. Finally, the breaker who opened it successfully. Merit and need balanced in each distribution. But now comes the main event. The elephant femur they've been saving for 3 days. This bone could feed everyone or injure everyone. Elephant bones under pressure explode like grenades, sending shards flying at velocities that pierce skin. The clan forms a wider circle. Children pulled back. Only the most experienced breakers remaining close. 4 holders position themselves more than usual, but elephant bones twist unpredictably when struck. The striker is the matriarch herself, the only one who successfully opened elephant bones without injury. She studies the bone's grain, feeling for internal fracture lines with fingertips that read density like braille. She places a piece of antelope hide over the strike zone, innovation learned through bloodshed. The hide will catch fragments while allowing force through. Others copy this technique immediately, filing it in collective memory. The first strike is tentative, testing. The bone rings but doesn't crack. She reads the vibration, adjusting her next angle based on sound alone. The second strike finds a weakness. A hairline crack appears, running exactly where she predicted. Now the dangerous part. She must widen the crack without shattering. Too much force and they lose everything. Too little and the bone remains sealed. She switches to a smaller hammerstone, trading power for control. Strike 3, 4, 5. Each one calculated, each one advancing the crack incrementally. The holder's arms shake from maintaining position, but no one suggests switching. Movement now means starting over. On the 7th strike, the bone yields. Not an explosion, but a controlled split, opening to reveal marrow so rich it's almost butter. The clan makes a collective sound, not quite cheer, not quite prayer. Gratitude for calories in a world that rations them cruelly. Distribution of elephant marrow follows different rules. Everyone gets an equal share first. This bounty is too valuable for hierarchy. The matriarch uses a gazelle scapula as a scoop, ensuring portions are exact. Even the lookout, who hasn't moved from his post, receives his share delivered by a runner. But they don't consume it all. The matriarch sets aside a quarter of the marrow, mixing it with crushed seeds and dried berries. This becomes traveling food, emergency calories for when hunting fails. She invented this preservation method after watching honey badgers cache food. Innovation through observation, the Habilis way. As the sun angles toward evening, they're still processing bones. Each crack calculated, each distribution democratic, each calorie maximized. A hyena pack watches from a distance, drawn by the sound but deterred by the numbers. 21 hominids working together are more dangerous than they appear. The child who carried the first bone now sucks marrow from a rabbit tibia, her baby brother's belly full beside her. They'll both sleep with calories in their system tonight. Tomorrow they'll need to find more bones, crack more puzzles, share more treasures, but tonight, they've won. The marrow conspiracy has succeeded again. They've extracted calories from stones that others abandoned, shared wealth that individuals would hoard, survived another day through the mathematics of collective action. The matriarch cracks one final bone. As darkness approaches, a bird femur, tiny, barely worth the effort. But she gives it to the adolescent who held the elephant bone steady despite exhaustion. Recognition, gratitude, teaching that every contribution matters, every calorie counts, every member makes the meal. This is how Homo Habilis fights starvation. Together, with rocks and rules, and the faith that shared hunger leads to shared feast. The sun reaches its killing angle at 1 p.m. The ground burns bare feet. The air shimmers with heat that murders the weak. Every predator seeks shade. Every prey huddles in whatever shadow they can find. And the Homo Habilis clan executes their midday protocol, building a fortress from nothing but bodies and behavior. The location was chosen at dawn, a cluster of 3 fever trees with interlocking shade, thorny undergrowth on 2 sides, clear sight lines on the others. Not perfect protection, but perfect enough for creatures without claws. The formation happens without words. Mothers with infants take the center, backs against the largest trunk. The tree's thorns are navigation hazards for them, but armor against anything attacking from behind. The infants nurse in this green cave, protected by wood and women. Adolescents form the next ring, sitting facing outward. each responsible for a 45-degree arc of vision. They've learned to see without looking, peripheral vision that catches movement while appearing to doze. A leopard would read them as sleeping. The leopard would be wrong. The adult males don't form a defensive ring that would be too obvious, too threatening to passing predators. Instead, they scatter in seemingly random positions, but each spot is calculated. One sits where he can reach the good throwing stones they cached yesterday. Another lounges precisely where a charging lion would have to slow to navigate routes. Casual positioning with lethal intent. But the real fortress isn't physical, it's behavioral. The clan has learned that predators key on specific signals: isolation, weakness, inattention. So they perform the opposite. Even while resting, they maintain constant small interactions. A female grooming her sister's hair while that sister grooms a child. A male passing an interesting stick to an adolescent, who examines it and passes it on. Continuous small movements that say, "We're alert, we're many, we're unified." The matriarch positions herself at the formation's weak point, the open side where the ground slopes slightly upward. Any ground predator would attack from here. It's the obvious choice. She appears to sleep, but her breathing is wrong for true sleep. She's counting breaths, maintaining a rhythm that keeps her conscious while conserving energy. In the killing heat, water becomes weapon and weakness. They have 3 gourds of water, gathered at dawn from a stream, now controlled by crocodiles until evening. The water must last until sunset. But dehydration is death, so they've developed a sharing system that modern hospitals would recognize. The pregnant female drinks first, she's cooling 2 bodies. Then the infant mothers, then children, then everyone else in reverse order of health. The strongest drink last. But everyone drinks. The male who guards them gets his share delivered, so he never breaks position. A young male spots movement, a lone hyena, probably scouting. He doesn't shout alarm. Instead, he picks up a stone and begins examining it intently, turning it over and over. Every clan member sees this and understands. Potential threat, northeast, monitoring. They adjust position subtly, creating better angles for stone throws if needed. The hyena reads the body language. Too many eyes, too many hands, too much coordination. It moves on, seeking easier prey. The young male puts down the stone. Threat passed. But the heat is enemy too. The children are struggling, their small bodies unable to regulate temperature like adults. Without discussion, the adolescents begin a solution. They dig shallow depressions in the shaded earth, revealing cooler soil beneath. Children are placed in these micropits, their body heat absorbed by earth that hasn't seen sun in years. An elder shows signs of heat exhaustion, confusion, rapid breathing. 2 females immediately position themselves to cast additional shadow on him, using their bodies as architecture. A young male tears large leaves from a nearby plant, beginning to fan air across the elder. Others wet cloth strips from precious water, placing them on his neck where blood vessels run shallow. The elder survives because 18 people simultaneously decided his survival mattered more than their comfort. This midday fortress has no walls, no weapons, no defensive structures. It's built entirely from positioned bodies and collective behavior. Every member is both stone and mortar, simultaneously protecting and protected. A martial eagle circles overhead, capable of taking an infant, but it sees not 21 individual targets, but a single creature with 42 eyes looking up. It continues circling, searching for actual prey. The hottest part of day passes like this: 2 hours of intensive nothing, where survival requires absolute commitment to doing less while remaining ready for everything. Modern humans would call it boring. Homo Habilis calls it breathing another day. As the sun begins angling toward afternoon, they prepare to move, but not randomly. Each member knows their departure position. Who moves first? Who watches? Who carries what? The formation that assembled without words dissolves the same way, each body knowing its role in the dance. They leave the midday fortress as they found it. Empty shade under fever trees. Shallow pits that will fill with wind-blown soil. A safe place that exists only when they make it exist. Tomorrow, at the same killing time, they'll build it again from nothing but meat and cooperation. Another temporary fortress in their permanent war against extinction. This is how the weak survive the strong. by making weakness irrelevant through unity. The berries are purple-black. Perfect. Deadly. The juvenile female reaches for them, saliva already flowing at the promised sweetness. Her aunt's hand strikes faster than thought, slapping the berries away. Not anger, salvation. Those berries killed a cousin last season. Convulsions and foam and eyes that wouldn't close even in death. This is the gathering web. 17 Homo Habilis, spread across 100 meters of mixed woodland, each a node in a living network that shares information faster than any individual could process it. The formation looks chaotic, but follows rules written in survival. Never more than voice distance from another. Never less than escape distance from each other. Clustered targets die together. Each gatherer watches their sector while monitoring their neighbors. When one stops, others adjust spacing automatically. The matriarch's 12-year-old daughter finds the treasure first, a mongongo tree heavy with nuts. She doesn't shout. Sound attracts competitors. Instead, she makes the clicking sound that means food safe plenty. The web contracts toward her, but not everyone comes. 3 watchers maintain perimeter. 2 continue searching their sectors. The web flexes but never breaks. Mongongo nuts require processing. The outer fruit is edible now, sweet and energy-rich. But the inner nut, which can be stored for months, is locked in a shell harder than stone. They'll carry these back for evening processing, but the fruit gets eaten immediately. Calories in the belly can't be stolen. A young male testing adolescence tries to hide extra nuts in his gathering pouch. His mother sees, his aunt sees, his sister sees. They don't confront. That would create conflict that weakens the web. Instead, his aunt begins loudly discussing the child who died last drought because someone hoarded food, and the web fractured. The male redistributes his nuts. Shame is cheaper than exile. The web moves through vegetation like water through rocks, following paths of least resistance and maximum return. When thorns block one gatherer, others flow around and relay information back. When a section proves barren, that quadrant is abandoned without discussion. Everyone reads, everyone's behavior, and adjusts. But gathering is just the surface activity. The real purpose is intelligence collection. Each member catalogs more than food. Fresh leopard scratches on bark noted. Hyena droppings with bone fragments examined for age. Disturbed earth where wild tubers grow remembered for desperate times. The web gathers data that no single brain could hold, but distributed across 17 memories becomes accessible to all. The adolescent male, who watches the sky, his designated role, makes a sharp whistle. Not alarm, but attention. He points to circling vultures far east. Something died there. The matriarch reads the flight pattern and files it. Worth investigating after gathering, but not urgent enough to abandon mongongo nuts. A 4-year-old child finds grubs under bark, protein-rich and defenseless. But she's too small to strip bark efficiently. Without prompting, her older brother takes over bark removal while she collects the exposed grubs. Division of labor based on capability, not ownership. The grubs go in the communal pouch. She'll get her share, but so will the infant who can't gather yet. The web encounters another resource, a termite mound, workers beginning their afternoon emergence. This requires different tactics. The clan forms a circle around the mound, each member with a stripped twig. They've learned that termites attack intruders sequentially, so synchronized insertion of multiple twigs overwhelms their defense. Everyone inserts on the matriarch's hand signal. Everyone withdraws covered in protein. But termite gathering makes them vulnerable, focused downward, clustered tight. So the web adjusts. Half gather while half watch. Then they switch. The termites are processed between groups, no individual getting more or less based on their role. The watchers ate because they watched. The gatherers watched because they ate. An old female, nearly 40 and slowing, finds something precious. Salt deposits where animals lick the earth. Salt is life in this heat, but it's also conflict. Every species needs it. She doesn't announce the find. Instead, she begins the careful process of scraping crystallized deposits, while others naturally drift toward her, reading her body language. They'll guard this secret collectively, returning when other animals aren't watching. The web stretches and contracts through the afternoon, breathing like a living thing. When a cobra is spotted, The web expands, giving it space. When ripe fruit is found, it contracts to harvest quickly. When nothing is found, it spreads to maximum coverage. Constant adaptation to constant change. As shadows lengthen toward evening, the web has gathered 40 pounds of varied food. Nuts, berries, tubers, grubs, termites, edible leaves, medicinal bark, and one unexpected bonus, a ground bird nest with 6 eggs, found by accident when someone tripped. The formation that returns to the evening camp looks nothing like the one that left. Exhausted gatherers are now surrounded by stronger members. Children who walked out now ride shoulders. The valuable mongongo nuts are distributed across multiple carriers. If one is lost to predation, the others survive. This is the gathering web. Not individuals collecting food, but a collective intelligence, harvesting the landscape's data while converting scattered resources into communal wealth. No single gatherer could have found everything. No single memory could hold all the information. No single pair of eyes could have watched all the angles. But 17 Homo Habilis pretending to be one organism, that can feed everyone. The crocodile has been there since dawn, only its eyes above water, watching the approach trails with patience measured in geological time. It knows the Habilis clan must drink today. Yesterday's rain puddles have dried. The stream is 2 miles south, claimed by a leopard that killed a young male there last week. This waterhole is the only option. The clan knows the crocodile is there. They've known since the 7-year-old boy spotted the distinctive ripples 3 days ago. They've been planning this for 3 days. 22 Homo Habilis approach in attack formation, but it doesn't look like attack. It looks like chaos. They come from 4 directions simultaneously. Some dragging branches, others carrying stones. 2 adolescents drumming on a hollow log they've brought specifically for this. This is psychological warfare, Pleistocene style. The crocodile's brain, unchanged for millions of years, processes threats individually. 1 ape at water's edge equals meal. 22 apes creating audiovisual overload equals confusion. The drumming vibrates through the water, disrupting the crocodile's pressure sensors. The thrown stones splash in patterns that simulate multiple large animals entering water at different points. But the clan isn't trying to drink yet. They're mapping. Each thrown stone teaches them something. How fast the crocodile turns toward disturbance. How far it can lunge from seeming stillness. Where the deep channels run that allow it to approach unseen. They're building a 3-dimensional model of death, measured in stones and seconds. The matriarch identifies the drinking zone. A shallow shelf of rock where the crocodile would have to expose itself completely to attack. But it's small. Only 3 can drink simultaneously. This will take coordination. They divide into functional groups. The water bearers, 3 adult females with the steadiest hands and best containers. The stone throwers, 6 adolescents with strong arms and better aim. The watchers, everyone else, each assigned a specific angle, including underwater approaches. The first water run is theater. 9 clan members rush the opposite bank, screaming and throwing debris. The crocodile, reading easy opportunity, surges toward them. They retreat, but they've learned its acceleration curve, its turning radius, how quickly it can reverse direction. Now, the real run. The 3 water bearers sprint for the designated zone, while stone throwers create a curtain of splashes between them and the crocodile. The percussion is calculated, not random, but patterned, to create a moving wall of disturbance the crocodile won't cross without certainty of prey. The water bearers have 13 seconds. They've practiced this on dry land, filling gourds from puddles, while others count. 13 seconds to kneel, submerge containers, rise, retreat. Any longer, and the crocodile recalculates, realizing the splashes are distraction. First run. Success. 3 gourds filled. But they need 12 for the clan to survive until tomorrow. Second run uses different tactics. The crocodile has learned the stone pattern, so they switch to branches, creating visual barriers. The water bearers are different too, males this time, because the crocodile might have cataloged the female's scent. But something goes wrong. A adolescent male stone thrower, overcome by adrenaline, throws too early. The pattern breaks. The crocodile sees the gap and accelerates toward the water bearers. Time dilates. The lead water bearer, a 25-year-old father of two, sees death coming. He could run. Instead, he grabs the full gourd and throws it at the crocodile's eyes, not to hurt it, but to blind it momentarily. The 2 seconds of confusion let all 3 bearers escape. But now they're down 1 container, and the crocodile is learning their tactics. The matriarch changes strategy completely. Instead of distraction, she opts for exhaustion. For the next hour, they false charge the water hole from different angles every few minutes. Never close enough for real danger, but close enough that the crocodile must respond. Each response burns calories. The cold-blooded predator hoards carefully. After an hour, the crocodile is visibly slower. Its charges are half-hearted. Its returns to position take longer. It's not defeated, but its cost-benefit analysis has shifted. These calories aren't worth this effort. The final water runs happen in rapid succession. All remaining containers filled while the exhausted crocodile watches from the deep pool, conserving energy for easier prey. As they retreat with their water wealth, the clan doesn't celebrate. Tomorrow, the crocodile will be here again. Hungry and rested. They'll need new tactics, new patterns, new ways to steal life from death's patient jaws. But tonight, everyone drinks. The infant whose mother was a water bearer drinks. The adolescent who mistimed his throw drinks. The elder who could only watch drinks. The water belongs to all, because all participated in its taking. This is waterhole warfare. Not strength against strength, but intelligence against instinct, cooperation against solitary patience, 22 minds against one, solving the equation of survival 1 terrifying drink at a time. The crocodile will outlive them all, their species, their descendants, their entire lineage. But today, the apes won. Today, everyone drinks. Today, the clan continues. Darkness comes to East Africa like a curtain dropping no twilight, just sun then stars. The clan has 17 minutes between can see and can't see, and every second counts. Without fire, without walls, without weapons that work in darkness, they must build a barrier from the only materials available: thorns, fear, and each other. The site was chosen this morning. A natural bowl formed by weathered rocks, one side sealed by impenetrable acacia, another by a drop too steep for silent approach. 2 sides to defend instead of 4. In warfare, this is called terrain advantage. In survival, it's called living another night. The adolescents have been gathering thorny branches all day, suffering hundreds of small wounds for the chance at survival. These aren't random branches but specific species. The hooked thorns of wait a bit, bushes that catch and hold. The straight spears of whistling thorns that penetrate deep. Each branch is placed with architectural precision. The barrier rises quickly but not randomly. Lower layers angled outward to catch approaching feet. Middle layers loose enough to move and rattle an alarm system of wood and spine. Upper layers angled inward, forcing any climber to embrace thorns with their full body weight. But thorns alone don't stop a determined leopard. The real barrier is psychological. The clan has learned that predators make risk calculations, so they manipulate the mathematics. Fresh human urine marks the thorn barrier, the scent of many individuals. Advertising numbers. Stones are loosely balanced on branches, designed to fall and clatter at the slightest disturbance, destroying the stealth predators require. Inside the barrier, the sleeping arrangement isn't random. It's a response algorithm made of bodies. The mothers with infants take the center, surrounded by juveniles, not for their protection but for the infant's children. Sleep deeper. Might not wake for danger. The mothers sleep in shifts, always one awake, feeling for breathing changes that signal threat. The adult males don't sleep at the perimeter. That's where attacks come from. They sleep 1 layer in, where they can respond without being the first target. The perimeter belongs to the adolescents, whose sharp young ears and quick reflexes are the clan's early warning system. But the matriarch positions herself at the barrier's weakest point, where the thorn wall is thinnest because materials ran short. If something breaks through, it breaks through her first. Leadership, measured in vulnerability, accepted. As full darkness arrives, 22 breathing patterns synchronize into something that sounds larger than its parts. This is intentional. The clan has learned that synchronized breathing sounds like a single massive organism. Predators that would attack 22 individuals might reconsider attacking one creature with 44 arms. The night sounds begin. A leopard sawing cough, measuring distance by echo. Hyena whoops. Coordinating pack movement. The clan doesn't react to sounds. Reaction shows fear, and fear triggers attack. They continue their synchronized breathing, occasionally punctuated by deliberate sounds. Stones clicked together. Throats cleared in patterns that suggest watchfulness. At midnight, it comes. Not a leopard or hyena, but worse. A honey badger, nature's psychopath. Afraid of nothing. It hits the thorn barrier and keeps coming. Thorns mean nothing to skin that deflects leopard claws. The balanced stones fall, clattering alarm. But the badger doesn't care about stealth. It wants the food stores, the marrow bones cached for tomorrow's breakfast. The clan's response is immediate but controlled. No panic, no scattering. The adolescents begin throwing stones not to kill but to annoy. The adult males grab the longest branches, poking at the badger from multiple angles. The mothers create a wall of bodies around the infants, who remain silent despite the chaos. But the matriarch does something unexpected. She grabs the clan's most precious resource, a gourd of fermented fruit juice they've been saving, and throws it at the badger. The alcohol confuses its senses. The strong smell overwhelms its focus. It retreats, not defeated but distracted, seeking easier meals. The night continues. Every rustle might be death. Every silence might precede attack. The clan doesn't truly sleep. They hover in a state between consciousness and unconsciousness, ready to snap fully awake at any anomaly. Just before dawn, when exhaustion is complete and vigilance fails, the real test comes. 3 hyenas, patient hunters who've waited for this moment of weakness. They don't attack the barrier, they're smarter than that. They call from 3 sides, trying to trigger panic, hoping someone will run into darkness where jaws wait. But the clan has one last protocol. Every member begins hitting stones together, creating a cacophony that sounds like many more individuals than exist. Children trained for this since birth participate, their small hands adding to the percussion of defiance. The hyenas calculate. Too many, too awake, too organized. They leave for easier prey. As dawn finally comes, the clan has survived another night, without fire, without shelter, without anything but each other and the intelligence to make thorns and stones and synchronized breathing into a fortress that exists only in predators' risk assessments. 22 survived because 22 acted as one. Tonight, they'll do it again. Every night, until they don't. The night is absolute. No moon. Clouds covering stars. The darkness is so complete that hands disappear at arm's length. Somewhere in this black void, a saber-toothed cat is hunting. The clan knows because they heard its kill cry an hour ago, close, maybe 50 meters, maybe less. Now silence, which means it's stalking again. This is the ultimate test of group survival, functioning as one organism when you can't see your own body. The 21 survivors, one lost to fever yesterday, have formed their night configuration by touch alone. Each member maintains constant physical contact with at least 2 others. A hand on a shoulder, a foot against a leg, children gripped between adults. They've become a single creature with 42 ears and 21 heartbeats. Communication happens through pressure. A squeeze means danger from that direction. A tap means all clear. A trembling touch means fear that needs comfort. It's a language older than words, written in skin and pressure. The infant starts to cry, hungry, cold, frightened. In daylight, this would be manageable. In darkness with a saber-tooth hunting, it's a death sentence for everyone. The mother's response is instant. She presses the infant's face against her breast, not just to feed, but to muffle sound. Other mothers shift position, creating a sound barrier with their bodies. An adolescent begins humming, not loud enough to attract, but enough to mask the infant's whimpers. Then they hear it. Breathing that doesn't match their pattern. The saber-tooth is inside their defensive perimeter. Somehow it navigated the thorns, avoided the balanced stones, entered their space without triggering any alarms. It's here, among them, invisible in the absolute darkness. 21 hearts stop beating for a moment, then resume with conscious effort. Panic means scattered prey. Scattered prey means individual death. They must remain one organism or become 21 corpses. The matriarch, identified only by her position in the formation, makes a decision that will either save or doom them all. She begins to stand, slowly, maintaining contact with those beside her. Others feel her movement and understand, make the group appear larger. One by one, maintaining constant touch, they rise. Children are lifted onto shoulders. Adults stretch to full height, pathetic 4-foot frames, trying to seem mighty. In the darkness, size is suggested rather than seen. They're creating an impression of something too large to attack, but the saber-tooth isn't fooled by size alone. It needs confirmation of weakness, isolation, and opportunity. So the clan does something that requires absolute trust. They begin to move as one. Still maintaining contact, they shuffle step in unison toward where they think the exit is. If one trips, all fall. If contact breaks, someone dies alone in darkness. If they move toward the saber-tooth instead of away, they trigger attack. The breathing follows them, measuring, calculating. An adolescent male on the edge feels hot breath on his neck. Every instinct screams run. Instead, he squeezes the hand he's holding danger here and continues the synchronized movement. The clan adjusts trajectory slightly, guided by his warning, still moving as one mass. Then disaster. A child trips, pulling down 2 adults. The formation breaks. For a moment, they're individuals in darkness, not a collective. The saber-tooth reads opportunity and prepares to strike. But the clan's response is faster than thought. Those still standing don't flee. They reach down, finding the fallen by touch, pulling them back into formation. The entire group drops to ground level, reforming their connection at a height where everyone can maintain contact. They've become a lower, denser mass, harder to isolate individuals from. The saber-tooth circles, its breath audible from different positions. It's looking for the angle, the opening, the moment when fear breaks unity. But the clan has transcended individual fear. They're operating on something deeper, a collective survival instinct that overrides personal terror. Then, salvation from unexpected source. The hyenas they avoided at sunset arrive, drawn by the saber-tooth's earlier kill. The 2 predator species detect each other. The saber-tooth must choose: attack the unified prey mass and risk hyena intervention, or defend its earlier kill. Economics wins. The saber-tooth returns to its kill, driving off the hyenas. The clan continues their unified movement until they reach what feels like better position. Backs against rock, thorns redistributed, formation restored. They spend the remaining hours until dawn in absolute stillness, maintaining contact, breathing as one, being one. When first light finally comes, they see the saber-tooth's footprints. It had walked among them, between them, close enough to touch. One print is inches from where a child slept. They survived not through strength or weapons, but through absolute unity in absolute darkness. This is the essence of Homo Habilis survival. When you can't even see yourself, you must trust the group completely. When individual existence becomes impossible, collective existence becomes mandatory. 21 survived the night, because 21 refused to become 21. They remained one, even in darkness so complete that existence itself seemed theoretical. And in that unity, they found tomorrow.